Hey guys, Ramsey here. Tonight, we've got an early impression or just a quick video on a fragrance that is marketed for women, but it's from a perfumer in a house that I'm really getting into. Everything I've smelled from this house I've really been taken with. I've never smelled anything that I've just gone, ugh, this is just crap, you know? Everything is at least good. Some are great. And the house is Andy Tower, one of the best, independent perfumers who rose on his own to make it in the game. And this came out in 2005. This is one of his earliest releases, maybe his earliest release. It is #1, so it must be his earliest release. And it's called Le Maroc pour Elle. And again, this was sent to me by one of you kind folks out there. Thank you very much. You know who you are. I just applied some. Look at that. Look at the color on my wrist. So I've been wearing this for a couple hours here, about an hour and a half. And I just did a fresh spray. And I will tell you that this is an amazing jasmine fragrance. It's jasmine dominated, okay? When you first spray, you get jasmine sambac and the other jasmine that it felt like to me was jasmine grandiflorum, which I actually have right here from Arise L'Adore. And if you haven't seen, oh God, Russian Adam sent me these ingredients. If you haven't seen my ingredient video with him, I would highly recommend it. I actually have the jasmine sambac here too. And such a realistic jasmine, These kind of indolic jasmines will usually have this white floral, almost like the jasmine has been honeyfied if that's a word, but like it's been dipped in honey, and this has that indolic honey-like smell, and it is very spicy when you first spray, and so you get that big blast of jasmine sambac mixed with jasmine grandiflorum. Look at the look at the quality of the ingredients. That's got to be. I doubt Andy Tower's using food coloring or something in his perfumes, but I can tell instantly that the ingredients are of the highest quality. He's using good stuff here, and so to my nose, whenever you spray, you're hit with this very indolic white floral, which I'm usually very hesitant to try and wear because white florals usually just hit me right here, like a gong, it's like gong all day. I just feel it. And I'm wearing this before bed, so I really don't care because I'm going to bed. But I can tell you already I'm getting that headache begin to wind itself up. It's just these white floral jasmine fragrances. They just do it to me for whatever reason. The smell, the fragrance itself is absolutely wonderful. I really enjoy it. After the, initial blast of that jasmine, you're hit with this, what I would say almost smells like a dry lavender, okay? It almost smells like a dry, herbal, spicy lavender. And I can't place this mandarin orange that they're mentioning. Maybe it's just getting swallowed up by the giant floral. This is a huge floral blast. However, if you don't have this headache problem with jasmine like I do, this is an absolutely beautiful fragrance. I would totally wear this. If I could wear it and enjoy it and just smell it and enjoy it on myself, I would definitely buy a bottle. But I have this, headache issue with jasmine. It's the same thing with I actually get the same problem with stuff like Samsara by the House of Guerlain. This is a fragrance I absolutely love. Beautiful sandalwood, jasmine, and ylang ylang. But every now, probably 50% of the time, it's just like to the head, And so I don't wear that very often out and about in public. This, I think, would have a similar... this would have a similar effect on me from just the way I'm feeling right now. But one of the most realistic jasmine openings I've ever smelled as far as beautiful jasmine. And here's the real stuff. And it is right there with it. It's absolutely stunning. It's not a complex scent. Apparently, it also has what's called a Moroccan rose note, which I can't really say I've placed a Moroccan rose note before. Let's see if there's other perfumes that use this Moroccan note, rose note. Rose Absolu by Goutal uses it. I've never smelled that. A Night in Marrakesh uses it. Siren by the House of Matriarch. I might have a sample of that. I'd have to look. So yes, apparently it's not too much of a common thing. But I will tell you, even though I'm not familiar with it, the rose note actually smells like another ingredient that Russian Adam happened to send to me, which I really enjoyed smelling. And that's this little beauty. It's called Azerbaijan Rose from 1972. There's a whole story behind this on Russian Adam's Instagram. Oh, wow. If you just look up Azerbaijan Rose, there's an entire story behind how he found this rose oil, and it turned out to be real. And the guy that owned the factory in Azerbaijan ended up contacting him and said, hey, I was the manager and owner of this factory. We created this rose oil. And then other people started contacting him and said, hey, when I was a kid in the early, 70s, we lived around this factory, and they used to make us go pick the flowers during school, recess, stuff like that. And the rose oil is very old, and normally conventional thinking says that the older rose oil gets the less less natural and useful the oil is. But in this case, this almost flies against conventional wisdom, because this smells absolutely stunning. There is this aged, it almost smells like a Rose Absolute. So I've got Rose Absolute right here. It almost smells a little bit like a Rose Absolute, but there's much more, there's more touches, more very interesting touches to this. There's little fruity touches. There's green touches. It's absolutely stunning. And it feels like the rose here is aged. Almost like you're getting like an aged rose, Like if you could take a rose and stick it in a oak barrel and just let it sit for 50 years and then come back. I mean, look at my wrist from spraying it. By the way, the rumor is that this fragrance actually, even though it shows 2005, Andy Tower created this before he kind of launched his own brand in 2004 for a bookshop. How crazy is that? So this was created for a bookshop, and then he ended up using the formula for his very first fragrance in 2005. Le Maroc pour Elle, which again, it's targeted towards women, but that spicy lavender. And the other thing that really makes it unisex to me is there's a base of woods. So it's Atlas cedar in the base. And what they call balsams. Now, here's what I find so crazy about Andy Tower's scents, okay? Is all of them, I guess I should have had them pulled out first if I was going to do this, but I'll just turn around and grab them real quick. All of them, from L'Eau du Désert Marocain, which is number 2. Accord du Désert, which is the extrait version of L'Eau du Désert Marocain. Lone Star Memories, which is number 3, my favorite. And Incense Extreme, which this is the old bottle presentation. And then I even did an early review on Sundowner, and I have a bottle on the way. I enjoyed that so much. They all have this brilliant DNA embedded, almost stitched into the fragrance, And, everyone talks about Guerlain having a Guerlainade. There is definitely a Towerade, and what I like about it so much is it's a replacement for ambergris. And I don't think he's using real ambergris. I could be wrong, but I think he's created this brilliant, genius replacement for ambergris that he weaves into the fabric of every single fragrance of his that I've smelled, even here. And you have never smelled a jasmine and ambergris combo, with that DNA, that Towerade DNA that has that, Andy Tower ambergris DNA vibe. so beautifully. This is absolutely stunning. I wish it wasn't pounding at my head right now, or I would buy a bottle. I mean, it's that good. I just can't. I mean, these white floral jasmine fragrances, they really get me. And so, you know, as much as I would enjoy it, I would hate the headache and I wouldn't end up enjoying it. But if you're someone that really likes jasmine and rose done to perfection, the Maroc pour Elle, I can definitely recommend. Definitely, I'd recommend getting your sniffer on this bad boy. Yeah, Andy Tower, man, I gotta dig out the rest of his work. There's still a bunch of stuff he did I've never smelled. I never smelled Une Rose de Kandahar. I never smelled Low. I never smelled Orange Star. Never smelled Incense Rose. Never smelled L'air de Alpes Suisse, the Alps one. And I never smelled anything from his Towerville line. So he's got like Vanilla Flash, Incense Flash, you know, all that stuff. I've never smelled it. I've never smelled La Oud. I don't think I have, although I think Rich Mitch told me it's very rubbery. And I do have, actually, thanks to Rich Mitch, I do have a decant of Lonesome Rider, which is like the follow-up to my favorite Lone Star Memories. So maybe I'll do a early impression video on that soon, because I've got a mill or two of that juice, and I haven't talked about it on the channel yet. So I haven't even smelled it yet, actually. So maybe I will do a video on that very soon. But I do have a bottle of Sundowner coming. I enjoyed that so much that I ended up buying a bottle. I got a very good price, so I had to say yes. And yeah, that's just kind of my early take. If you've kind of ignored this one because it's feminine, and it is heavy jasmine florals at first, but it does dry into that, you know, that cedar, Atlas cedar with that Towerade DNA, and it's beautiful. It really is stunning. I think if even as a guy, I mean, I think if I wore this out, I would get tons of attention because it's so, I mean, that Indolic jasmine is just, I mean, it's so beautiful. I wish I could enjoy it without the headache. But, yes, that's my take. I'm really glad to get to try this. Thank you for sending this to me, Perfume God person. Really appreciate it very much. I love being able to put these videos out, even though they're short, even though they're quick, even though they're just, you know, an initial take. I think you now have an idea of the fragrance, and you can hopefully decide if it's worth sampling or even trying to hunt down a bottle. So yes, Andy Tower's first fragrance. What a gift and a blessing this is to put this out there. It really is an honor to learn more and more about his work. I knew I liked it, but I didn't know how much I liked it, I guess, you know, and I just, it's one of those brands where I didn't go hog wild and just buy. Some brands I just go, wow, this is amazing, let me just buy everything, right? I didn't do that here. I bought one, and then 6 months, a year went by, bought another. 6 months, a year went by, bought another, you know, and then slowly I've just kind of accumulated, and now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th bottle on the way. So now I have 5 of his fragrances. And, you know, it's interesting how some brands you just kind of dive head first in, and some brands you just kind of slowly pick and choose, pick your spots. But everything I've smelled, I've loved. You know, I haven't smelled anything yet that I'm just like, oh, this is shite. Nothing is shite. Even though Le Maroc pour Elle is not for me, I really appreciate the quality of the ingredients and the blend and the structure. And again, it's only been on my skin now for an hour and 40 minutes or whatever it is, an hour and 45 minutes. But the color of the juice is mad. I mean, look at that. So maybe don't spray your clothes with this one, but wow, it's so good. You know, the color reminds me of the actual jasmine, like Sambac juice color, you know, with some perfumer's alcohol. Yeah, man, Andy Tower, I mean, success story in the industry, icon, and, you know, really grateful to get to try this. So thank you very much. Hopefully, if you follow my channel regularly, make sure your notifications are turned on, because tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live stream with Rich Mitch, hopefully, if he's feeling up to it. You know, the Queen did pass away today, so condolences to him. I know that's a very big deal for the British. We are on the outside looking in. And, you know, as much as we can maybe try to relate, we really can't as Americans, you know, what the Queen meant to them. And so, you know, if he's feeling up to it, then I'll be glad to live stream with him. I did open these at the request of Dushan. I don't know how I feel about it. I might shut them again. But let me know your thoughts on the open Roja bottles. The open Roja box, lacquered box, or whatever it is. Dushan requested it, so I figured I'd give it a shot. It looks better up close, actually, than it does on the screen. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers, guys. Have a good evening. See you again tomorrow. Bye now.